Hey, how's it going? Let me get rid of these glasses. I am Chef Darwin. You're watching Cooking Up. Thank you very much. Today, we're going to make homemade breakfast sausage. I have trimmings from a bunch of pork loins, as you can see. I also have some salt pork because we need moisture, because pork can tend to dry out. We also have fennel. I couldn't find any fresh fennel at the store last night. I was highly disappointed. I also have from my garden sage, rosemary, and of course thyme with garlic and salt and pepper as always. I also have over in that direction a meat grinder set up and ready to go. But what I need to do first of all is trim these pieces down to manageable size. So I've got a knife, a sharp one this time, and we're just going to slice them into strips as such. Because the orifice of the meat grinder is only so large, it's probably 1.5 inches in diameter. When we get over to that portion of the recording, I will show you that. So just break all of these down, like I said, into manageable pieces. A lot of them already are that size, but I'm going to go through and just make sure. And as you can see in this episode, I have a sharp knife as opposed to that blue butter knife I was using last time to chop things down. It wasn't pretty, cutting board sliding all over. But that's neither here nor there in this episode, because this little beauty is a great slicing knife and it's sharp as a razor. So again, these are trimmings from a bunch of loins I cut down for a catering gig I did, I don't know, a couple of months back. For 115 people, I made like 400 pork chops that turned out just fabulously. I was very thrilled with the way they turned out. The key to making a good pork chop is brining. Brining, brining, brining. Locks the moisture in. Even the day after, folks were still eating the leftovers. There weren't many leftovers from the first day, but the ones that were left over got scarfed up the next day, which I took as a high compliment. I suppose as I should. They turned out really well. I was very, very happy with the results. So there you have it. A bunch of pork all sliced up, ready to rock and roll into the grinder. Pardon that camera there, I'm sticking my hand in it, but that is what it is. I don't work in a television studio. I work at home. And this is salt pork. It's very fatty. And from what I understand, it's very salty. I don't cook with it very often. And then again, I don't make breakfast sausage very often. So, this is already sliced, but I would like to break it down even further. Just so I don't have to give my grinder such a hard time, you know what I'm saying? The grinder's got enough work to do on its own. It doesn't need to be overworked. There you have it. There's a lot of good fat in this salt pork, which makes it nice. It'll help moisten up the pork sausage itself. Okay. Let me quick run over here, give my hands a rinse. All right, so we're ready to go. Had a little bit of a mishap there. That camera was off kilter. What had happened is, for some odd reason, the grinder came off the mixer. I'm going to step it up to 2, and we'll go from there. Seems to be working fairly well so far. Give that a little plunge. It is spitting some pieces of pork all over my Pink Floyd shirt, which I'm not too happy about, but you know what? That's why God invented the laundry. There's some of that salt pork in there right now. See how that goes. We're getting a decent grind, as you can see by the one camera here. So let's just keep going. I'm pretty happy with the results I'm getting here so far. I imagine the salt pork's going to be a little weird going through there, but it's got to go. I need the moisture. Seem to have a backup here. Come on now. Back in the old days, they used to do this with a hand crank. Can you imagine that? That would be horrible. Although it might be a little bit more reliable, I don't know. I will edit all of that out because that was more like a Three Stooges episode than any kind of cooking show. But in the interim, I've taken the liberty to slice up my thyme, my rosemary, my sage, no parsley, and fennel with some garlic, and then we'll salt and pepper this whole mixture too. Just put this all right up in there. There you have that. That's in, and you can do this to taste. It really is up to you how much of each spice you put in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mix this, and then we'll cook up a piece just to see how it went. Okay, so let me get the pepper here. Salt and pepper. Always, one of my cameras just shut down. Who is it? Now, before we were so rudely interrupted, I was just about to pepper the sausage mixture. And you need some twists. You want to be peppered up but good. And like I said, season this to taste, and what we'll do is once we get this mixture nicely blended, which I have a feeling means by hand, we'll go from there. But let's be optimistic first and start out with this. See how this goes. As I suspected, miserable failure. The tools God gave you. Just get up in there and start working it. Yes, it's a beautiful mess, but it is kind of fun. I don't know about relaxing at all, but it's kind of fun. I'm enjoying it. I just hope I can get it all off of my hands so I don't waste any, you know. Okay, it doesn't take long at all, does it? Just want to make sure everything is evenly and properly dispersed, because nothing could be worse than getting just a whole lot of all those spices all in one bite, you know what I mean? Jelly bean? I think you do. All right, I think we've done a pretty good job of getting that dispersed. Need to wash these puppies, and by puppies I mean my hands. There's not too much left there. Back in a flash. Back from my scrub-a-dub-dub. Got a little bit of a side project. Seem to have contracted a fly. How disgusting. I hate those things. Purpose-free beasts that they are. So, we're going to test this out just to see how it goes. So, put my spoon right here. Let's spin this camera around so you can catch the action, as it were. Give this one a little turn so maybe I can do an over-the-shoulder glancing at you while I'm cooking said sausage. Let me retrieve a spoon. I don't particularly want to get my hands back into the mixture. Fun as that was. Yeah. I'm done with that. So what we'll do is make a bit of a lardone on the spoon, get it on the spatula, and flatten her out a bit there. Let's see if this takes, huh? Got me the sizzle going, which is nice. Now we wait. Just watch this thing cook. Won't that be fun? This is going to be, this is the second time in my tenure of cooking that I've made my own breakfast sausage. The first time it turned out good, however, it was dry due to the fact that I didn't have any fat back or bacon or salt pork at the time. So we shall see what we shall see on this one. Because I'm told that the way to do it is to go with fat back, not bacon and or salt pork. But try to find fat back in these parts. Don't think it's possible. Righty, that should be done, golden brown on both sides. Let's spin these cameras back to where they were. Whee! I hope that I set them in the right place there, so the view is good. All right, it's going to be a little hot, but let's give it a go, see how my seasoning worked out. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Very breakfasty. It's lacking a little something in the heat, so maybe I'll throw some red pepper at it, get her spiced up just a little bit. Other than that, she's pretty good. And there you have it. Very complicated ordeal. I would not recommend this if you are a beginner. If you do not have the grinding tool or the patience. So, not one of the easier things I've ever done in life, in cooking, that is. But worth it, because you control what's in your food that way. Your sodium content, your sugar content most of all, and your amount of spices. If you don't want it hot, don't put in the red pepper. If you do, then go for it. You can adjust how much thyme, rosemary, sage, no parsley, and fennel you put in there as well, to your taste. All right? All right. I appreciate y'all watching. I'm Chef Darwin. This is Cooking Up. Bye-bye now. Whoa! Whoa! Loving that. That one went to the floor.